Live in New York, it's Saturday night, which is just a fact. Just a fact. This is a live show. It's in New York. It's Saturday Night Live, and this show is called Connor Ratliff Presents the Acting Class. It is an ongoing series of interactive, slightly interactive, I will choose when we interact, series of workshops and demonstrations defining and exploring what acting actually is, what it means to be an actor. And because, and this is truly the main reason, because this show was given a Saturday night slot, I thought this might be a good opportunity to do a themed show, roughly in broad strokes, dealing with how to get on Saturday Night Live. It's a good time for it. It's the 50th anniversary. They're currently in the 50th season of Saturday Night Live, so it's a big moment. Recently, there was the Saturday Night movie, the motion picture directed by young, what's his name, Jason Reitman, which demonstrated, it dramatized how fraught the early days, the first episode of Saturday Night Live truly was. And it is also the 5th anniversary, more or less, of the September 2019 issue of Men's Journal. And I'd like to point this issue out because in this issue there was a small feature in which someone in this magazine said, our idea, 3 comics that Saturday Night Live back this month needs to hire to save itself. I was one of them. There were also other comedians who were all doing swell. And, but just back to me, they misspelled my name. But they point out that I had appeared in Amazon's Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and that I am, in their words, an improv ace. Not my words, the words of Men's Journal magazine. And so I thought, well, maybe this would be a good opportunity for me to try to share some of the things that I know, many of the things that I don't know. But just before we do anything, I want to make it clear what this show isn't. This show is not a one-way ticket to get cast on Saturday Night Live. If you came here thinking, I'll come to this show and then they'll put me on the show, that's very unlikely to happen. Even though I do think it would be a great idea. I think if the season 51, if they were to cast everyone in this audience, just like wipe the slate clean, come back with their biggest ever cast, everyone's like, who are all these people? And then you have a great story because it's like, well, they all went to this show on how to get on SNL. And then Lauren, in a moment of inspiration, said, well, let's go ahead, let's put them all on and see, maybe some of them are funny, And you wouldn't all get like sketches on in the first week, A lot of you would be like, maybe you make it to dress, then you get cut, So I'm not saying it would be an easy road, even if that were to happen, and that's the best case scenario for tonight. Is that we all, not me, I'm not in this for me. Everyone in this audience, that's what I'd like, is for everyone here to get placed in the cast of SNL 51. But that's not what this show is promising. The other thing the show isn't is a scam. This is not like me just trying to get you to come here and then you don't actually improve your odds of getting on the cast. I really do hope that for many of you, your odds will increase because you're here tonight. The other thing that it's not is a joke. So if you came here because you thought I was going to be spoofing and goofing on Saturday Night Live, there's the door! Because that's not what this is. If you think I'm going to just rattle through and do all your favorite characters and make fun of them, I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not what this is. And it's also, and I cannot stress this strongly enough, it's not an audition. I'm not trying to get on Saturday Night Live. I do not, let me find where the live stream camera is. I'm not seeking an audition. I have never auditioned for Saturday Night Live. I have never done it. I'm vaguely familiar with the process. I know some people who've gotten on. I was recommended. Not by Men's Journal, no. I won't even say, there was a cast member. They have this thing where the cast members, they will recommend, like, hey, who's good out there? A cast member recommended me to Lauren, and I never heard anything. So that's where we are with that. I'm a 49-year-old man. I'm the same age as the show. I was born less than 2 months before the events of the Saturday night movie, before their first episode. And for those of you thinking, oh, maybe that's cool. Maybe they'll want a 50-year-old cast member on a 50-year-old show. I just have to say that historically, that metric has been wildly unreliable. For the first 10 plus years, there was no one in the cast who was the same age as the show. Go back and watch. Go back and watch. You will not find. Maybe occasionally there might be an extra, there might be a prop, you know? But no one we remember, we associate as a not ready for primetime player. Around season 25-ish, it starts to become a more reliable, hey, if you're the same age as the show, maybe there's a correlation here. And that was true into the 30s, a little bit into the 40s, but then it starts to, and no one knows why, but it starts to taper off after that. So I'm not fooling myself into thinking, oh, if I do one of my classes and it's how to get on SNL, there's no part of me that thinks, oh, maybe Lauren bought a live stream ticket, he's watching, and he's like, what, maybe worth trying, maybe this guy. Like, no. What I'm here to do tonight is to help all of you with what I think of as your SNL path. We all have, whether we like it or not, we all have a path to SNL. All of us. Some of you are thinking, no, not me. Yes. Yes. You'll understand if I clarify, because some people, their path to SNL is that they're heading toward SNL and then they get on SNL. Then there are people who are heading towards SNL and they don't get on SNL, but they're close. They almost get on. Jim Carrey almost got on SNL, but his path was just, no, you're going to be on In Living Color, and then you're going to do movies, and then you'll be even bigger than SNL. Lauren will regret it. He'll regret not putting Jim Carrey on this path, instead having him on that path. Then there are people who try, they don't even come close. Then there are people who don't try, and that's their path. But they watch the show. And then there's people who don't try, never watch the show, never get on it. There are people who are unaware, and they know the show exists, but then there's people who they don't know the show exists. They live their whole lives, and they never are even made aware of the existence of Saturday Night Live. Globally, there are a lot of people in the world because they don't show it in other countries. So think of these paths, and think for a moment, what path am I on? What path am I on? Really think about it. I'm not kidding around. Really think, what path am I on? Because you're on one, whether you like it or not. And if you came here tonight thinking you weren't on a path, you got to change your way of thinking. You got to do it fast, because we don't have a lot of time. Who here would like to be on Saturday Night Live? In the audience. You would like to be on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Why?
I grew up watching it. I think it's a show that made me fall in love with comedy.
You grew up watching it. It's the show that made you fall in love with comedy. All right. You realize you were in a pool of millions. Millions of people. All right? That's not going to be enough. All right? I'm telling you. Right? I've been in Lorne Michaels' office when he wasn't there. He wasn't supposed to be there. And I'm telling you, if you go into Lorne's office and you say, I'm a big fan of the show, and the show made me fall in love with comedy, the next thing he says isn't going to be an offer to be on the show. I wish it was. No, actually I don't wish it was. That would be mayhem. That would be absolute chaos. There has to be a process. What do you imagine you would do if you were on the show?
I would do some characters. I would do some weekend updates.
Characters, weekend update people. So like at the desk, they have the anchors, they're at the desk, all right? This is like the desk, right? And there's the anchors who are at this part of the desk. And then there's the characters. This is for people who are part of the pathway where they've never heard of it. All right, so I'm gonna pretend this desk is longer than it is. So, what kind of, have you worked on characters that you think maybe would be good for update bit?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
All right, I'm not here to steal your characters. I'm not here to perform your characters for you. But let's imagine a world in which, give me an example of just without, and we're on the honor system here, nobody take anyone else's characters because I swear to God, if someone else gets on Saturday Night Live with what we're about to explore here, you've got a room full of people who will stop at nothing to ruin your life. All right? We'll all be on Reddit and we'll all have the receipts. Okay? So like, in broad strokes, what's an example of a weekend update bit?
I have a character that's like the poet laureate of the family.
Poet laureate of the family.
Yeah.
So the other family respects or doesn't respect?
It doesn't really respect.
Okay, that's funny. Right? I mean, either way could be funny, but I think this way is funny. You might disagree. We're not here to debate these things. We don't have time. We're going to assume with all of these things, we're going to operate from the assumption that these bits are going to work. Okay? We have to. So a poet laureate whose family members don't really respect. And what else?
So it's kind of like a kid, and it's like I wrote a poem for the family, and then it starts very simple and like, childlike, and then just becomes incredibly like hyper-political.
Great. Now let's imagine you've done that bit, and Lauren says, what else do you have? And you've got nothing else. What do you do? What do you do? What's the first thing that pops into your head? A backup character. This is what I learned from the Saturday Night movie. They had the whole episode ready to go, and then it was chaos. Terrible things started happening. They couldn't possibly know what was about to happen. They hired writers in nearby bars with less than a half an hour until showtime. That's what Saturday Night Live is, according to that movie. So what would be a character we would like that is not something you've already done? I love the poet laureate bit, but I'm not here to take your comedy and regurgitate it for you. Let's figure this out together. What kind of characters do you think would be funny? And don't worry about what Lauren thinks. It doesn't matter.
Maybe someone who's a witch who doesn't care about Wicked at all.
Someone who's a witch. All right, and it's perfect because it's timely for the weekend. So the anchor will say something about the #1 movie at the box office this weekend is, because we assume. I mean, if you try to get tickets, you look, there's all the little witch hats on Fandango. That's how you know a movie is going to be #1, when you try to buy tickets for the movie, the seats are filled with a little drawing of the hat of the main character of that weekend's movie. That's what happens when you try to buy a ticket for Wicked on Fandango. There's all these witch hats. They don't do that for other movies. All right, so the anchor will say something about the weekend, and then camera pan over, and there we have a witch. And this witch is not interested. You think they smoke?
Yeah, probably.
I think they do too. So you got a witch. And let's not make this a Halloween cartoon witch. Let's just make, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, let's make it a modern, respectful
Yeah,
witch.
astrologist, like,
But they still have the hat, right? It's like the producers wanted me to, I'm a witch, I'm not interested in Wicked. The producers made me wear this hat. Witches in 2024 don't wear this hat. But I was told it wouldn't read as witch-like if I didn't wear this hat. I'm here to tell all the witches out there who are feeling left out, who are feeling out of place. You're not alone. I'm going to see Gladiator 2 this week. There's no witches. I believe there are sharks that fight in the Coliseum. And there's Denzel Washington having an absolute blast. I encourage my fellow witches out there. don't feel the pressure to go see Wicked. First of all, it's only half a movie. It's almost 3 hours long. And I don't think most people realize that when you get to the 2 hour and 40-minute mark, they're gonna Across the Spider-Verse to you, and they're gonna say, come back next November and pay again for the second half of this movie that was already almost 3 hours long. Go see Gladiator 2. It's very upfront about the fact that it's the second half of a story that was begun decades ago. They put their numbers right there in the title. All right? And something like that, right? You feel like that? I mean, it doesn't have a button, but maybe you could like make some jokes at Colin's expense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's what Squirm's loving that.
Yeah. Get in on that. Get on that action. You know, that's pretty good, right? And then you see what happens. You see what happens, right? What other things on the show do you want to do? Let's get outside of the other. All right? Let's go over from the deck. That's the first week. The first week you're on there, you can do that witch character, but that witch character is not going to come back. Or maybe they will, because Wicked might have a long run at the box office. Maybe they come back every week. Maybe it's a phenomenon. But what do you have as a second act? And then we're gonna really figure out where you fit in this cast.
Yeah.
All right. So what's another kind of character? What do you like?
I had this sketch about like an ice cream truck, like an ice cream man.
Ice cream truck, like an ice cream man. Wonderful. Very funny. Ice cream truck, like an ice cream man. What's his deal? What's going on with him?
So instead of an ice cream truck, it's the Boar's Head meat truck.
Oh, he sells meat. He's not an ice cream man. It's going to be hard to do this without stealing your whole thing. This is the front of the truck. On Saturday Night Live, they have a whole crew of people who move the stuff. But up here, it's just me. So the ice cream truck, he's at the window. Kids, yes, and kids come up. They want ice cream. Come on. Sorry, kids, we're out of ice cream. Read the truck. It's not an ice cream truck. It's a Boar's Head meat truck. I'm not an ice cream man. Sure, on my birth certificate it does say I'm an ice cream man. But I've lived a long life, and what I found was selling ice cream only works for part of the year because people don't want ice cream when it's cold, unless they're inside, and I'm outside because I sell it from the truck. So at a certain point, something had to give. I'm a Boar's Head meat man. Meat is something people want every day of the year. When it's snowy out, they'll still walk up to a truck for a piece of meat. Thinly sliced or sliced super thick. We'll do that. I don't know if you know that. Boar's Head will slice it thick if you want. I think you get the right idea. This is why we need more meat men out there. Because people think, oh, Boar's Head, I know what it is. Thin slices. Thin slices. We'll slice it thick. We got the whole thing. I got a slicer here. It's got 20 different settings. I can slice it thinner than you would want it. And I can slice it thicker than you need. When I ran an ice cream truck, what do we have? Cones and cups, that's it. Cones and cups. Maybe a couple of scoops, but it's soft serve, so there's no scooping. You just pull the thing and it squirts out. And you either landed in a cup or you landed in a cone. Cup or cone. That was my life for 15 years. Cup or cone. Cup or cone. And then all of a sudden it's Christmas and nobody gives a shit. They're all with their families inside. I'm parked outside with nobody. Parked outside in the loneliest truck in town. Not anymore. Christmas morning. Kids run up to this truck looking for some Christmas morning meat. It's true. My life was changed by just changing what kind of truck I drove. This might not be the end for me. I'm open to anything else. If I find 5 years from now that the environmental impact of selling meat every day of the goddamn year means that we're slowly killing our planet, I'll consider a pivot. I just need to hear a good idea. Just one good idea. But no one's come to me yet. So I guess I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. Selling meat every day. I love doing that, even though I know this will be the thing that when the oceans rise and destroy us all, I will have contributed to it in a massive way. Maybe not massive compared to some industries, but as an individual, I've sold quite a bit of meat, and that meat has affected our planet. Ugh, I didn't mean this to be a lecture. Anyway, I got some meat to sell. Yeah, how do you want? And then it's one of those things where it cuts to the card, and you're kind of like, wait, that was the end? I guess so, because this is a real commercial. All right, well, what's next? And that's how it works. Look how simple it is. Look how simple it is. Is there anyone here, I should have asked this to begin with, is there anyone here who absolutely does not want to be on Saturday Night Live? All right. Now, I don't want to make this a downer. Is it for like a serious reason? All right, good, because we're here to have some fun. Why don't you want to be on Saturday Night Live? Because I'll tell you what, your odds just went up. Sorry. But like, when you want it, it's like, you do not want to be on Saturday Night Live. Why not?
I've just never seen an episode, and I'm kind of shy.
You've never seen an episode, you're kind of shy, but I can hear you and so can everyone else. So you've overcome your shyness a little bit, right? Yeah. Don't worry, I won't make this bad for you. But don't be mad at me a year from now when you're running around changing costume because they're putting you in every sketch. What's your first name? Adina. All right, Adina. So you're shy and you don't want to be on the show, but you're here. And that's the first step. Are you here because someone made you come here? Wait, and do you two want to be on Saturday Night Live? Not in particular. No. You're getting all the levels of interest. Not particularly, but you would. Like if Lauren was like, please, you'd be like, sure, Lauren, I'll be on. And you were no, but it didn't sound like an aggressively confident no. You're like, no. Why don't you want to be on Saturday Night Live? Sounds like a lot of work. It is. It is a lot of work. Back to you, Adina. Adina. If you were on Saturday Night Live, let's map it out. What's the best case scenario? Like, let's say you go home tonight and there's a message from Broadway Video, and they absolutely want you on the show. They heard you came to this class. And the message is just, well, you know, we heard you were in the class, you didn't want to be on SNL, but we really want you on the show. What can we do to make this okay for you? Because you have a tremendous advantage going into this that most people who get on Saturday Night Live do not have. Most people who get on Saturday Night Live, they want it. They want it more than anything. They want it so badly, they would do anything to get on the show. But you are in the catbird seat because you have leverage. You don't want to be on the show. So what are your demands?
I guess maybe if you just been behind the scenes.
Lauren really wants you on camera. No, please, no, not just behind the scenes. What can we do? What can we do to make it nice for you? Well, like, what's the easiest? Like, are there certain kinds of characters? You're not an actor? You're not an actor. Okay, well, that's a hard one. You ever play a character with your friends? Pretend to be someone you're not. You go trick-or-treating. Have you ever been trick-or-treating? Have you ever been trick-or-treating? Who did you go as? You don't remember? You don't remember who you ever went trick-or-treating? No.
I guess, I think one time I was a substitute teacher.
That sounds less like a Halloween costume, more like a perfect character in a sketch. Genuinely, it doesn't sound like. If you think about it, it might be the strangest idea for a Halloween costume I've ever heard in my goddamn life. A substitute teacher? So you just look like a person who maybe doesn't work here full time? What did you wear?
I thought it would be really funny if I wore like a blazer and like a skirt, and then I had like a kick me sign, and then like a crumpled up like a paper airplane, and I put it in my hair.
You thought it would be funny. Miss, I don't want to be on Saturday Night Live. Treated All Hallows Eve as an opportunity to try out a sketch comedy concept on the neighborhood. Yeah. All right, class. First of all, I know about the sign. Okay? I'm aware of the sign. This does not indemnify you from punishment if I should be kicked. Either for the kicker or for the person who put the sign on my back while I was unawares. All right? So don't think that this sign gives you protection. If you kick me, it is assault. You are assaulting a teacher, an employee of this school district, and the punishment will be swift and it will be irrevocable. All right? But I'm keeping the sign on as an intimidation factor to show you that it doesn't bother me. I know I'm not Ms. Griffiths, okay? My name is Brad. Mr. Brad. Brad is my last name. My name, and do not laugh at this, is Chadley Brad. I'm sorry, did something funny happen? Mr. What is your name?
John.
Mr. John? My name is Mr. Brad, and I'm your substitute teacher for the week because something happened to Miss Griffiths that I am not allowed to talk about. And I know I shouldn't have even said that. That was too much information. Just don't ask any more questions about what happened to Miss Griffiths. She'll be back next week. She's gone this week. It's embarrassing. Don't tell anyone. Okay, let's play fair with each other, okay, class? I'll be cool with you if you be cool with me, okay? I'm just here because I don't have another job. This is a way for me to pick up a little extra income, and I'm not looking to cause problems, okay? I wasn't supposed to say why Miss Griffiths is not here, and I certainly wasn't supposed to indicate that it was embarrassing, the reason why. I'm not going to tell you what the reason is, so don't think that this is a setup for that. I'm just saying we can be a little relaxed. We can be a little fun, all right? Everyone can, how about this? Phones out. Right? All of a sudden, Mr. Brad's not such a stick in the mud after all. Phones out. But do not tell anyone, and do not look up pornography. All right? I don't know what the parental control situation is. That's down to each individual household. If I see anything that looks, and I'm not even going to say sexual because that's in the eye, I mean obscenity according to the Supreme Court. Maybe we're learning something now. Okay, the Supreme Court basically ruled that obscenity is in the eye of the beholder, or community standards, I believe, was the threshold. And this is always changing over time, obviously. But I'll know it when I see it. So no porn, okay? No porn, and no telling anyone what I told you or didn't tell you about Miss Griffiths and her absence. Now I do want to say, because I've had to say that, this is going to sound like a weird disclaimer, but this isn't my first rodeo as a substitute teacher, and I've been doing this for about 1.5 years, and about 1 year ago, I was told that there was a Halloween trend where some students that I have been a substitute teacher for were dressing up as me to go trick-or-treating. This is not cool, okay? It's not funny, Mr. John. Don't do it. I'm gonna write it on the board. I'm gonna write it on the board, okay? Do not go for Halloween. As, and I'm gonna do a little around this. Do not go for Halloween as Mr. Brad, all right? So these are the rules of my classroom, all right? And I think we can all get along just fine as long as we obey these rules, okay? Okay, class? All right. Okay. And then at the end of the day, Mr. Brad goes home to his mother, with whom he lives. This wouldn't happen on Saturday Night Live. They don't generally do an extended beat after something so long. I'm kind of curious. And obviously, I don't think my substitute teacher would be anything like your substitute teacher character. You were saying wears a blazer?
Yeah.
Mr. Brad doesn't wear a blazer. So this is a different comedic concept. We haven't even gotten into what Mr. Brad wears. But I'm telling you, and you can trust me, it's not a blazer. Oh, Mom. Today was a tough one. I really failed to establish control with the classroom. And it's getting worse. I feel like I had a confidence in the early days. I had a confidence that just, I was harder then. I was meaner. I've softened as a substitute teacher. Oh, I mean, well, that's to be expected. I mean, you've been doing it so long, and you're a person, and you have feelings. I wouldn't worry about it. I think it's okay if you aren't always such an authoritarian, if you develop a certain fondness, or you treat the students as if they're, people just like you. I think it's fine. I don't know, Mom. I don't think I'm going to go back. I don't think I'm going to go back again. I think I'm going to have someone else do it tomorrow. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. Well, do you want me to go in? I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I can go in. Don't do that. Don't do that, please. Mom, that's embarrassing. And look, I'm just thinking this way they won't look down on you as unreliable if you provide a substitute for the substitute. My name, class, is Mrs. Brad. And yes, I am the mother of my son Chadley, who I believe was your substitute teacher yesterday. He and I are very different. I, for one, wear a blazer. And then we're out because we got the laugh, right? We're out. You couldn't do that like a year from now? Like, think about it. Like, you wouldn't have to play. We'd put like Keenan or someone to be the Mr. Brad character, and you could be Keenan's mom. That way you're only in the button. It's not that many lines. We put them all on cards. What do you think? Would you do it? You would maybe do it? Do you see the way the path changes? Thank you. I realize that wasn't easy for you. But I think you could do that. And you'll get the blazer. You won't have to provide the blazer like you did on Halloween. So this would be easier than Halloween. What I think is important here is that we acknowledge fundamental dishonesty that many of us have within ourselves. You might think, oh, I'm not on the path to being on Saturday Night Live, and then you find out that you absolutely are. Is there anyone else who's confident that they don't want to be on Saturday Night Live? So everyone here wants, okay, that's all yeses. Yes, 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 yes. Everyone? Is there anyone here who wants to be on Saturday Night Live? Anyone? That gentleman, I realized you just like touched your head like that. I don't know if that was an indication that you want to be on Saturday Night Live, or were you just like, ugh, what is this?
I mean,
You don't want to be on.
I mean, I would.
You would.
Yeah, but
You're a maybe.
Yeah.
You're a maybe.
I would say yes.
You would say yes.
Yes.
What changed your mind?
Just now?
Yes.
I mean, I don't think, I guess I wasn't really being honest.
You were lying to me. You want to be on?
I mean, yeah.
What between you and me?
Yeah.
Like if I could get you on,
Yeah.
like you do it. I can't get you on. But if I could, you would do it.
Yes.
What if I could get you on tonight? There's not a new episode, but what if I told you I could get you on tonight? We get in a cab. We go from here. We go up to Rockefeller Center. This is a big favor. I don't know if it'll work. We tell them that we're supposed to do a pop-in during the rerun. All right?
I don't know what that is, but yes.
They won't either. It's not a thing. This is the thing. Like, you don't say anything when we go through security, all right? In the Saturday Night movie, they almost didn't let young Lorne into the building. He said, I'm the producer of Saturday Night. And said, what, the whole evening? And he's like, ugh. And then they got in, all right? So it's entirely possible. You and I, what's your name?
Tom.
Tom.
Yeah.
Tom. It's good. It's good. It's a good, solid name. Tom's supposed to do a pop-in during the rerun tonight. Security's like, you're not on the list. Well, they don't put pop-ons on the list. We're just going to do a little pop-in during the rerun. Look, Lauren wanted this. Like, this is how it would be. You and I get in a taxi. We go up to Rockefeller Center. You stand next to me. You don't say a word unless you are asked. Let me do the talking. They send us up in the elevators. The way the elevators work. The way the elevators work at 30 Rock. You don't press the button. You tell them where you're going, and they send the elevator up. You have no control. It's just a box that they shoot you up to the appropriate place. Then you get in, they take you down. But you don't have, normally a normal elevator. You got all these options. I'll go here, I'll go there, I'll go to all of them. Look. Here, the security guards. Their job is to make sure that this kind of thing never happens. You and I get in a taxi. We go up there, we go to security. I say, hi, I'm Connor Ratliff. I'm here with Tom. We're supposed to do a pop-in during the rerun tonight. They're going to look at the list. We're not going to be on it. At this point, I'm going to act like this is a nightmare. This is a disaster. I'm going to be like, we are on TV in like less than a few hours. This is check the list again. Please, you gotta let us in. Just let us, come on, please. And they'll start dropping other names. I won't do it here in the show, but I know various people who work on other shows at Rockefeller Center. And for you, Tom, I will burn those names. I will throw out names of writers on other shows, producers. I will say, look, they all know me. Ask anybody. And we will, I promise you, Tom, we will get in. All right?
I got a name.
You got a name?
Yeah.
All right. Don't pull this shit when we're in the lobby. It's the last thing I want to fucking hear from Tom. Jesus Christ! You're gonna blow this! What's your name, Tom? I'm so glad we're talking about it now before we make this happen.
Tom.
You know what, Tom? Maybe you're more of a Mad TV guy. I want to share with you something. It's going to take a couple of minutes, and it's going to be a slight break in the action tonight. But there was a moment where I almost got on Saturday Night Live in a roundabout way because it was Bobby Moynihan. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I don't care. I got nothing to lose. Bobby Moynihan recommended me to Lauren or whoever passes the recommendations on to Lauren. Bobby Moynihan, lovely guy, recommended me before he even knew me. He said, please, I think he's funny. They said no. I don't know what they said. They probably said nothing. They're like, we got a lot of names here. It's a big deal. Like, add his name to the pile. But before that, I was doing these films for the Chris Gethard show on public access. And we were doing, myself and an animator named Maël Daliveau, we would make these little animated films every week. And the way we would do it, we had no money, no budget. We would get a suggestion on social media of a word or a sentence or a question, and then Maël would make a bunch of random images that were sort of connected but didn't really have like a script. She would animate all these things, and then she would give me the raw footage, and I would edit it into an order where I could write a script around it, then I would do all the voices and find like public domain music I could use, etc., and we would make this little film. The film was on this public access show because at the time, the only way to record a high definition version of this episode of the Chris Gethard show was to take a break at the 35-minute mark because mini HD discs at the time only went to 30 or 35 minutes. So they needed a video to cover the gap. And I said, I'll do some videos. So we did a video. And in, I think, the 5th episode of this show, John Mulaney, who was then a writer on Saturday Night Live, he was the guest on the show. And he watched this short. And you're gonna see footage of John Mulaney reacting because John Mulaney saw this short. I've never talked to John, I don't know John Mulaney, I haven't talked to him about this, but John Mulaney saw this short and he said, Chris, can I show this to Lorne? Because I think, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't know what he sounded like when he said this, etc., but he basically was saying to Lorne, I think these people should make short films for Saturday Night Live. So we're gonna watch the short, and then we're gonna look at Mulaney's reaction as he processes, you'll see it first, but then we're going to run it back again. As he processes the idea that this no-budget public access show somehow has an animated cartoon that happens every week. And his reaction, I think, is inspiring. So let's go ahead and we'll watch this video.
We've got to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Every week we have a team of filmmakers and animators called the Lone Cornmeal Machine. You can tweet at them at Lone Cornmeal, give them a suggestion, they will prepare an animation based on your suggestion. This week, our friend Michael Caine asked them if they could explain through animation why keyboards on a computer are arranged the way they are, why typewriters and keyboards are arranged like that. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what the Lone Cornmeal Machine had to say.
Around the corner when I'm going round the bend. No one knows what will happen or if this madness will ever end.
How did it all begin? How did our world find its ultimate shape? This is the question many of us have pondered. They say that in the beginning there was the end. Then there was also space and time. Before long everything fell into place until we began to feel as if this was how it was meant to be all along. But there is a forgotten chapter to this tale taking place a long time ago, the earliest days of civilization.
Society needs leadership. Great ideas for the greater good. We need a leader. Maybe I could be a leader. Yeah. Hey, did you just say that you're some kind of leader? There's got a leader? That's what he says. Yeah, I'm a leader. I've got all kinds of good ideas for how we can organize our society. Really cool stuff that I think would work pretty well. I mean, we could try out different things. See what works, what doesn't. I think I'd be really good at it if you gave me a chance.
Hey, I got some ideas too. Fuck it, it's not hard. Just do it.
You're a leader.
Yeah, I'm a leader. I'm the best leader. I'm great. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm impressive.
Oh, no, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to be a leader.
Hey, you trying to be a leader? Big mistake. No. Oh, try to be a leader.
Oh, stop!
I won.
Unfortunately, good men do not always become great leaders, and great leaders are not always good men. The world we live in is the legacy of those who tried it.
I did it. I'm the leader.
Not because they were better, but because they got what they wanted.
He deserves it more than me.
These cruel and selfish fuckers are the men who built our world. The world we live in today. And we
show them everything.
What can we do?
Now watch John Mulaney reacting. He hears the idea and he goes, oh. He hears the idea, he nods, and he goes, huh. He hears how we make the cartoons, and he goes, huh. He nods, and he goes, huh. And in that moment, he thought, I'm going to tell Lauren they should put these on Saturday Night Live. I want to point out, this cartoon was made in 2011, but I guess we kind of called it, huh? Sorry to get political, but everything's ruined now. I want to talk, how long, I know we started late, how long do we have remaining? Approximately. 10, 5, 15, 20?
15 minutes?
15 minutes, all right. Is there anyone else? Everyone on this side wants to be on Saturday Night Live, we confirmed that. We went through here. Tom, we went through him. Is there anyone else who either really strongly wants to be on Saturday Night Live or really strongly does not? Yes?
I would love to be on it.
You would love to be on it. Why? Just cause. No real reason.
No, I love comedy.
You love comedy. What do you like about it?
I like making people laugh
You like making people laugh? Why?
because the world sucks.
Because the world sucks.
Yeah.
So you want to bring some joy into the world. All right. What's something that, do you have an idea for a character or an idea of a situation or something that you've seen on Saturday Night Live and you felt like, oh, that's the kind of thing that I could do if I was on that show?
I had an idea just now.
Just now you had an idea.
Yeah. What if, like, Donald Trump was supposed to be in a bunch of movies?
What if Donald Trump was...
And, like, they were cut out, and so then every cast member has to play.
Every cast member, all right. I'm not going to do a Donald Trump impression, but I like this idea. What if Donald Trump was supposed to be in a bunch of movies, but he got cut out?
Yeah.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. We have blown a lot of money on a lot of different movies at this studio where we have featured the President of the United States. And he hasn't made the cut for any of them, so he is very angry with our studio. And I think, let's be honest, like, say what you will about the man, but I think this is on us. I don't think we should have cast him in quite so many movies. I think we need to write an apology letter. I feel like an apology letter is a sort of, I don't know, I feel like that's going to make him angrier. I think he's going to see that as weak. I think if we write him an apology letter, it's actually going to make the situation worse. I agree. I think it should be a show of strength. I think he won't like it, but I think we just tell him, you're out of the movies. I don't think we should tell him at all. That's right. If we want to project true strength, we have to humiliate him. Invite him to all the premieres. Every single one. And each time, do not tell him that he wasn't in the movie. As a matter of fact, tell him he was in the movie, and he must have blinked, or fallen asleep, or gone to the bathroom, because you know he can't make it through a feature film without having to leave to take a shit. That's what we'll tell him. We'll tell him, Mr. President, it must have been during the times that you were taking shits. And we make sure that everyone else tells him the same thing. So even if his own people say, no, you weren't in the movie, I bet those people also take shits. I also bet he doesn't trust them, and he'll think they're just saying whatever he wants to hear. We invite him to every premiere. We cut him out of every movie. But we say, you're really in the next one, Mr. President. Please come back. We've rolled out the red carpet for you. This is how you do it. I've been the vice president of this studio for the past 17 years. We've seen countless studio heads get the job over me. None of them last. I last. I've been VP of Paramount Pictures for 17 years. That's 1 full decade, and then 7/10 of a second decade. How do I do it? Moments like this, when weaker men, prouder men, men who are afraid to make the big moves. Oh, all right, yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Sure, yeah. Okay. We have recast the president in a number of these movies, and we need to make sure that everyone who was cast in the role that the president was cut out of has signed NDAs, if they haven't already. This is something that we should have battened down, but I believe there are a handful of pictures where the actors have not signed NDAs, and I'm worried they're going to say something on social media or to their reps or to their friends, and then the president will find out, we should kill those people. Oh, I mean it. People have died on movie sets before. It's something that happens. It was an accident. They're still in the picture. We released the movie as a tribute to them, but they never tell the tale. All right, okay, this idea is clearly less popular than the idea. All right, so maybe that's why I'm not the president of the studio, because not all of my ideas are good. But boy, that one about the president taking a shit. I gotta admit, that's like, I'm still riding high from that, because it's, most of the time, most of my ideas have been like the idea about how we should kill the people who we cast to take over the roles and fill the, yeah, okay, all right. I'll just keep looking out the window into the middle distance while you carry on talking about this season's slate of pictures that are going straight to streaming. Big deal. You call that a movie? I saw Wolves in a cinema, the way it was meant to be seen. Apple TV Plus. Plus what? I didn't buy a Roku. I didn't buy a Roku to do arithmetic. Apple TV Plus. My God. I never open that app because I feel like I'm back in Miss Griffith's math class. Yeah. That was my teacher who shit herself to death. Who else doesn't want to be on Saturday Night Live? Is there anyone over here who really doesn't want to be on Saturday Night Live? Really doesn't want to be on? I bet someone on this side is lying to me. I bet there's at least one person over here who really doesn't want to be on Saturday Night Live. But none of them want to talk to me. Wait, you again?
Yeah, I really want my Saturday night.
You were.
Saturday Night Live.
You're the person who said, what was your exact answer? Not particularly. You're coming to me now with an explanation that the reason you don't want to be on Saturday Night Live is because you really like your Saturday nights. You need them.
I do it once, but recurringly.
You want to host?
Yeah.
All right. Sure, yeah. You want to host?
Yeah.
You realize if you host, they'll never put you in the regular cast. Look at Baldwin. Baldwin keeps coming back. They never put him in the regular cast because he's hosted. It's like when you find a baby bird. Don't touch it. The mama will never come back. Don't touch a baby bird. The mama will never come back. If you host, you can't be... Although, is there an example of someone who hosted and then came back and joined the cast for the first time? Is there? I don't think there is. There is? He was in the regular cast after hosting in Spinal Tap, right? Or did he host as Lenny and Squiggy? All right. There's one exception. Michael McKean. All right, so you're willing to blow your chance of joining the regular cast because you don't want to give up your Saturday nights. What do you do on a normal Saturday night?
I'm a clown.
You're a clown?
Yeah.
You should have led with that. What kind of clown are you? Are you one of these modern clowns that are so fascinating?
Yes. Very modern. Very.
How modern? Like disturbing?
Like what?
Like upsetting and cool?
I hope so.
Or like upsetting and traditional?
Horny.
What?
Horny.
A horny clown?
Yeah.
And you don't particularly want to be on Saturday Night Live? Which has...
Not all the time. I'm busy.
I think you're going to be on it next year. I truly don't think you even need any help from me. Like, you're playing mind games. You You bury the fact that you're a horny clown. You say you're too busy. Like, I think this is how you do it. Like, for anyone else who's like, this path is strong. It's a strong path. There's a chance you might not make it on there, but like, I like the way you're negotiating this. How do you feel about it? Do you feel you're doing well?
I think so, yeah.
What's your favorite thing you've ever seen on Saturday Night Live?
Oh,
So many that you can't decide. You can't think of any.
that was Stefan's money.
You like Stefan,
Stefan.
right? You like that. Talk about what the New York's hottest club is. These things.
Yeah, because I've been to all of them.
You like that? Do you go and you go clubbing on Saturday night?
Yeah, and it has all those things.
It has all of those things. I think you're going to be a featured player in season 51. Again, I can't guarantee it. I cannot guarantee it. But I think there's a strong path for you. I want to see if there's anyone in this quadrant who either wants to or doesn't want to. Is there anyone here who wants to or doesn't want to? And the thing is, I like the fact that so many of you are shy. Because that's something that I feel like Saturday Night Live has been lacking. A lot of extroverts and very few shy people who've been represented. And I think it could be a very different tone for the show. Because we've seen a lot of people who have big energy, but very few people who seem ultimately reluctant to be on camera or to engage with the idea. So I'm not saying it's a criticism, I'm fascinated by it. Anyone in the back row over here who really wants to or really doesn't want to be on Saturday Night Live? Or has an idea for why they're somewhere in the middle, trapped between wanting to and not wanting to? Yes, you in the front.
I do not get like stage fright. I wouldn't be shy, but it seems like so much stress having to do like a new show every weekend.
Every week. So your idea is that they should do the same show. Every week for season 51, like, I hope you like our season premiere, because we are back at it, week after week after week, 51, the one season where we do the same show every week, different hosts, same sketches, same jokes. I hope you know what happened in September, because Weekend Update in May is going to refer to the same thing. Would that make you less nervous if they said, look, for you, to make season 51 a little easier, we're just going to repeat the same thing over and over with maybe different host every week, different cast combinations, but usually it'll look like, wait a second, I saw this. No, I didn't, because the host is different. Would that make it easier for you?
Absolutely.
It's unlikely to happen. You have to be realistic. You have to be realistic. Okay? They're not going to do that for you. What's your first name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy. You're not the Jeremy from the song, are you? Jeremy Spoken?
No, unfortunately.
There was a song about Jeremy. You did a terrible thing. I'm glad to hear it's not you and that you're doing well. Jeremy, knowing that you have to do a different show every week, and there will be pressure. It will be like the movie. Every week it's going to feel like things are going wrong. There's the famous thing they say. Do you know the thing they say, Jeremy?
I don't.
You know, I bet you do. Why do they do the show? It's not because they're ready, Jeremy. Do you know why they do it? It's not because they're ready.
Because it goes on at midnight or whatever?
No, gosh. Jeremy. I'll tell you right now. You find yourself in Lorne Michaels' office, and you tell him that you know why they do the show. And it's not because it's ready, because it goes on at like midnight. Midnight is when they are seeking the writers in the nearby bars and establishments. If you've seen the movie, they hire some of the writers like a half hour before they go to air. What would it take to make you feel less nervous and more prepared?
If all I had to remember was a catchphrase.
A catchphrase, do you have one?
Not yet.
I like it. Bring that in, and it works for a lot of different things. I don't know what those things are, but that's not my job. Not yet. I can visualize America falling in love with this character, because it's the thing that people say, so it's relatable. A lot of people will say things when they're like, hey, are those sandwiches ready? Not yet. The character is always on the verge of being prepared. But he never gets there. Hey, has my package arrived? Not yet. This guy is funny no matter what. He only says the catchphrase. Not yet. And we just have a series of situations in which he is sort of floating around the periphery. Other people have conversation. We're like, hey, Jennifer, is this the right presentation? I want to make sure I have the right files. I don't know if they printed out the right thing. Oh yeah, that's right. Blah blah. They're talking like that, and they're like, hey, Jeremy, is Mr. Tamagotchi here yet? Not yet. And the audience, it doesn't even have to be that funny, Jeremy. That's the little secret. All right. A lot of funny things have happened on Saturday Night Live over the years. But they don't have to be that funny. They can just be funny enough. That's truly, that's the statement. Like, if it's funny enough, people will laugh. And I'm not saying that because I think it doesn't have to be funny at all. It has to be funny enough. It doesn't have to be the funniest thing you've ever seen. It just has to be funny enough. And I think not yet qualifies. Right? People, we haven't even really set it up as a joke yet. Not yet. Laugh, 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 laugh. Not yet. Little chuckles, even from people who hate this. There are people in this audience who hate this. They don't like not yet. They hope this doesn't catch on. They are wishing that you fail. Oh, there are people in this audience right now who the last thing they want, the last thing, is for you to be in the cast of SNL 51, showing up every goddamn time. Not yet. But they're laughing. They hate it, but they're laughing. Let their hate fuel you. Don't let it discourage you. All right? I will get in a cab right now. People go up. I'll do a pop-in with you. I don't need to be on it. I'll just make sure the camera is on and that we find the button. This could have been you, Tom. All I gotta do is find one engineer with access to whatever the button is, because you know there's a button that overrides whatever's being beamed out. And all I have to do is make sure, they're showing, does anyone know what the rerun is tonight? Is it Michael Keaton? They're showing the Michael Keaton episode. We pop you in right at the beginning of the show. They're about to say something and you pop on. Not yet. And we pop you off. Everyone in America's like, wait a second. I don't remember this from when this aired previously. Who's this not yet guy? Is that his name? His name is Not Yet? It feels like it could be like an outdated kind of comedy. Like the name's exotic in a way. His name is Not Yet. It's a little Borat. All right? I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of that. But we live in a terrible time where I think that kind of comedy is going to be not okay, but enough people are going to get away with it. His name is Not Yet. And he says his name, and people think that it's not time for whatever they were asking to happen. I hope you're ready for this, Jeremy. Really hope you are. I worry about you. I worry that this is going to be a lot. That you're not prepared to be walking around New York City and have everyone say not yet to you. Wearing shirts that say not yet. You're overhear conversations where people just say the phrase in casual conversation and you assume it's you, but then some of the time you're right. Or that some people will say something in conversation, they'll say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk, did you talk to your dad yet? Not yet. You're gonna turn around and look at them. And they weren't saying not yet, as in SNL's famous catchphrase character, not yet. But when they said the words, you were in vogue like fucking Beetlejuice. Like you just appeared. That's going to happen to you, Jeremy. You're going to be a magic trick for millions. Get ready. I want to talk to one more person for less than 60 seconds. Did I see a hand go up? No, 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 No one wants to talk to me, yes.
I don't want to be on SNL.
Okay, cool. What do you want to be on?
I don't think I want to be on TV.
Okay, you want to be in movies? Like the Blues Brothers, like a Blues Brothers type movie? Crash a bunch of cop cars, you think that's cool to crash a bunch of cop cars? You think that's funny to crash a bunch of cop cars? Do you think that's funny?
I think I'd be, yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's your path. All right? Everybody's got a path. You see how easy that was? This guy doesn't want to, he likes his Saturday nights, right? You like your Saturday nights?
I love my Saturday nights.
You like this?
I like this.
Wow, you love your Saturday nights. You'd rather be watching a show on Saturday night, and then on Sunday, you crash a bunch of cop cars. That's his path. Not quite to the show, but oh yeah, I made a Blues Brothers type movie instead. So easy. Anybody else who has an SNL dream, raise your hand right now. I'll help you find your path. I will help you find your path. No one? No one? Everyone just bought tickets with no dreams? Sad and sour world to live in. Yeah, I'd like a ticket to the How to Get on SNL show, but I don't even want 60 seconds to find out my future. To find out. This guy, 1 minute ago, he didn't know he was a blues brother. Now he knows he's a blues brother, wants to wreck cop cars. Someone over there? Yes?
I have a friend.
You have a friend?
That's the audition tapes.
You have a friend who vets the audition tapes?
Yeah.
What is your name? What?
My name's Avery. My friend is the guest talent coordinator. He also vets the audition.
Right, that's good to know. What is your SNL path? Just being friends with Avery? Oh, no, you're Avery, and Avery.
I'm friends with Jeff.
Avery friends with Jeff. I have a friend named Jeff. Avery, we're basically the same person. What is that? Are you happy with that's your SNL path, being friends with Jeff who vets the tapes? Do you watch the show?
I haven't watched it in like 10 years.
You haven't watched it in 10 years. Missed a lot of Trump sketches. What do you want? Why are you here tonight? You want to be on SNL or no? No, not really. See, people say shit like that to me, and then I find out that they actually are angling for it. What do you do for a living?
I do a bunch of different things.
A bunch of different things. It is a variety show, sir. So you just moved yourself up a literal notch. I do a bunch of different things. You sing songs?
I sing some songs. I play piano. I teach creative writing.
All right, we don't need the teaching creative writing. You play piano. You could be in the band, maybe. You play really well?
Pretty well.
Pretty well. You got to do really well. Avery, you want to be the piano player for Saturday Night Live? I play pretty well. This is not like Chopsticks and Heart and Soul. You got to be ready to really, really play piano. Are you willing to take more piano classes?
Yeah.
Practice more.
Yeah.
You're willing. It's not going to be easy. But see, that's your SNL path. Piano player. A lot of comedians you're not in competition with. I don't know how many piano players want to be the Saturday Night Live piano player, but if that's truly your goal, if that's truly what you want more than anything in the world, you can make it happen. Like, how hard can it be to play the piano? And how hard can it be to play the piano? I'm not a piano player, right? How hard can it be to, like, I mean, it's hard, but like, honestly, how hard could it be to play the piano? Like, it's the same piano, like, everywhere, right? Like, they never update it, right? So, like, what is the, help me out here, like, what is the, I really, like, it's just a piano, right? And it's just the one, like, Avery, you can do this. Like, you don't need, why are you freaking out? Avery, why are you freaking out? You can do this. It's just a piano. Just be better at playing the piano than one guy. The guy on SNL. Does anyone even know his name? If you do, by all means, say their name. Who is the piano player for SNL? Nobody knows, Avery, so you can do this and live a life where you have your privacy. Comedians don't have that choice. I've never even auditioned for SNL. And I can't go anywhere without Men's Journal magazine from 5 years ago writing that I should save the show, Avery. That's how it is for comedy people. We're not anonymous like piano players. I want to apologize for getting a little too emotional there. I hope this has helped. I genuinely do. I hope that you believe me. Please let me know. I mean this. Every one of you, I'm going to try and make eye contact with every single person in here. You won't feel it that intense. It won't be great eye contact, but I am you won't be able to say, if you get on Saturday Night Live a year from now, you won't be able to say that I didn't look you in the eye and tell you, you can do this. All right? And then, get in touch. Just let me know. Let me know that I did this. Don't quietly join the cast and be too proud to admit that I helped. It's all I want. I'm not trying to sneak my way onto the show. I'd love to have tickets to your first, if it's everyone, then I'll be very disappointed if I'm not invited. If it's everyone, I insist on, I will be doing interviews about it, I will be promoting it, I will be taking not full, you've earned it, but I will be taking full credit for the idea that all of you got on the cast. Surely you can give me that, right?
Yeah.
All right, verbal contract?
Yes.
All right, I want to thank everybody in the audience here. What a great cast. That's our show, and I want to thank the UCB Theater. I want to thank Tom. I want to thank Jeff and Avery, and thank everybody. And good night.
Thank you all so much for coming out to Ratliff presents the acting class live here at UCB NYC. We have another show right up after this one. Susan safely exit the theater at this time. If you enjoyed the show, help spread the word. We've got great shows just like this one, 7 nights a week. And if you're looking to hop up on stage, we also offer improv and sketch comedy classes. For more information on upcoming shows and classes, check out ucbcomedy.com for more information. Thanks again for coming out to the acting class live with Tom Ratliff. We hope to see you on another show again soon, but until we do, have a great rest of your Saturday.
Thank you for finding this. My friend.
They do that.
Thank you for helping me, Tom. I really would have gone out there with you.
I know you would.
Yeah.
I'd do the same for you next year when I'm on.
I'm counting on it, Tom. I'm friends with you, Tom.
Nice.
Yeah.
That guy, yeah.
And
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Friends with Tom Hanks.
Nice. My
Yeah.
grandmother used to say I look like him.
You do look a little Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I got that one.
Yeah, I'll do that.